What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? Welcome back to another episode of the 76 Hour Podcast. This is episode 9, game 3 of the first round of the 2023 NBA playoffs, where your Philadelphia 76ers are facing the Brooklyn Nets. I'm here with my main man, Nizzy Now Jack Stacks. I'm your host, Yeen. How are you doing tonight, my brother?
Doing good, bro. The night ended with a Sixers win, so all is well.
That's all we can ask for. So your Philadelphia 76ers defeated the Brooklyn Nets in a long, drawn-out, foul-laden fashion, 102-97. It was a fun game as an NBA fan to begin it off. The Sixers were up. They allowed the Nets to come back. A few flagrant fouls later, the Nets are up towards the end of the game. um, Players on both sides get ejected, and somehow your team ends up with the W and is one game or one win away from going to the second round for the fifth time in like 6 years. So what are your thoughts on Game 3, and what did you learn from this matchup?
Um, Number one, I'm starting to learn that our players step up when needed to. Specifically Tyrese Maxey, and I know that you alluded to this before about saying Joel Embiid can't be the best player on the Sixers. Come playoff time, and I think that showed tonight because every time Embiid touches the ball, he's double
Mhm.
and triple team, so he can't really operate like how he used to during the regular season. And at a time when we were down in the game like 5 or so points, um, Harden was ejected, and it's like okay, like we're only down a few points. We just got to make a quick run and close out this game. Maxi stepped up, hit a big time 3-pointer. Um, and that basically sealed the deal. Then D'Anthony Melton, well, I think it was technically um I think Tyrese got the steal, but D'Anthony Melton finished out with the dunk to
Mhm.
end the game. So yeah, our players stepped up because Joel Embiid couldn't do it. Harden wasn't available. So Maxi and the crew stepped up when needed, and now we're up 3-0, and hopefully we can get that sweep. I believe they play next on Saturday.
Yes, we do.
Um,
1 o'clock.
so yeah, hopefully we can get that sweep and get that rest and get into round two. I think Embiid may be hurt a little. I mean, he's always a little,
Right, right,
banged up.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it
Mm.
didn't seem like it was too serious, but yeah, hopefully we can get a sweep. I don't want no gentleman's sweep. I want a sweep
Yeah,
sweep. You know what I'm saying?
get,
Let's just
get
end
this
it.
joint done.
Yeah, and let's end it and go home.
I never thought that this game was with a potential of us losing it, even when Harden did get ejected. I figured
Mhm.
what it was like 9 points, and the Sixers have been used to playing Embiid mainly with guards. So there was no shadow of a doubt. I thought that we could get it done. We definitely did waste a few opportunities to get the lead earlier in the game or earlier in the fourth. But I'm like, yo, there's like really no one to really stop us, especially once Claxton got ejected. I'm like, okay, is this all short
Forwards
balls
and
like
guards.
forwards and guards?
Yeah.
Like, look, come, like let's like win this joint.
Let's stop playing around.
Let's stop playing around. Let's like take Bulls hearts. And that's what we ultimately did.
Facts.
I have not yet to this point. The last few podcasts have been. I have not given this man flowers, but PJ Tucker, playoff PJ, he's a real thing, bro. That
Getting
man
the
is a real.
offensive boards,
Oh my god,
hustling.
bro.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
So now we know that during the actual regular season, he's saving his body. He ain't doing all that extra gobbledygook crack because he's waiting for the playoffs to actually jump
Fact.
on the whole floor, like dive, so he doesn't so he doesn't break up himself. I like saw Bull like create like what probably over like 5 extra possessions, if not more,
Facts.
just
Multiple
off of
opportunities. Yeah.
like him 1-on-3 getting boards like it's nothing, dog. Like, who the heck
Facts.
is Bull? Like, come on, yo.
We
So
needed
shout
that
out,
toughness.
shout out to PJ. That is definitely going to be needed next round.
For
I
sure.
was really not a hater of PJ, but I was a skeptic. But I have been converted after 3 games. I mean three like games, like after game one. Like because boy was doing the whole same thing. So shout out to him. Shout out to Tyrese Maxey, who did the damn
Tyrese.
thing, took the ball in his hand at the end of the game, said, I'm about to win this, John, since everybody
Pull it
else
up.
want to start
Whack.
playing. Right, it's wet. Step back threes,
Whack.
cold blooded,
Man,
yo.
like
Um there was a John like probably what like 3 minutes left, and he gave the ball to Embiid, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You take the ball. Like Embiid's fine. Let him do his
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Maxie, you have to do your like thing because it's going to come down to games later on where like either Harden's off, Embiid's off, or like Harden is getting double teamed, and it's just Embiid being fed, and Tyrese has to do something with the ball. So I'm loving the fact that in like what year 4, year 5, Tyrese Maxey has the confidence to be a closer in the playoffs. Shout out to Melton, who actually made a actual difference in this game with his threes, with his steals, with his defense. Ended up being the guy who got the actual closing steal. Shout out
Mhm.
to him. Just an all around good game. Of course, it was ticky tacky fally, but that's the actual type of of basketball games you should love as a fan. So I like no, I did. Now I have to ask you. Well, first, well, yeah. Do you want to talk about Embiid or the flagrant fouls? Which one would you rather speak on first?
Um, we can talk about the flagrant fouls. Um,
Okay.
I
Do you
mean, go
believe
ahead.
that those flagrant fouls were warranted? Because I don't believe that they were. Harden nor Claxton. I feel
Yeah.
as though, like, why is Claxton getting tossed for taunting Embiid? Like, he got dunked over. Well, he got like soft dunked over, and it's like, yeah, like I would be
Yeah.
mugging bull too. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a flagrant. Now, of course, that's probably the like rules now. So can you
Mm.
really dispute that? No, but that's a corny behind rule. Obviously I'm not rooting for Claxton, but like that's whack. And in terms of James Harden, it seemed like it was in inverted contact. It wasn't as if he was trying to knee him in the groin or elbow him in the groin. It was just, Harden does those like shifty hand movement type joints, and Royce O'Neal's junk just so happened to like be
Just so happened.
to like be there. But nevertheless,
It
they were
wasn't
both kicked out.
intentional.
But Embiid, Claxton stepped over him with like what,
He said, "You ain't
like
AI. You better get up off."
with like 2 minutes into the game, Clax steps over Embiid. Embiid kicks him close to the groin, but doesn't hit him there, and he's given a flagrant one. And the boys on TNT was asking, "Oh, so like, why is this not a flagrant when like Draymond, got tossed out for stomping down?" And then more fodder. Claxton gets thrown out for mean mugging, and Harden gets thrown out for a groin touch. So, what is your thoughts on like these like flagrant fouls? Were they warranted this game? Did Embiid deserve to get thrown out? And
Harden.
um, has the NBA gone soft on these fouls?
So I don't think really that I don't think any of the ejections were warranted. Starting off with Claxton's, I mean, like with the mean mugging thing, I think that's like a technical at the worst. You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't throw nobody. I mean, it's basketball, bro. I
Right,
mean,
right, bro.
people taunt each other all the time. Like that's just the sport of basketball. Um, with Harden, I think it, like you said, it was an inadvertent. elbow to the groin area of his defender, and uh I know that they were reviewing it for a flagrant foul, but when the refs came back to the table and was like, "Oh, Harden is tossed," like I was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "All right, like is oh like this is going way too far." With the when Claxton stepped over Embiid, like I didn't really like that he did that because I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at the dunk that he made, it wasn't even like a
Even
dunk
like no,
dunk.
right.
I mean, like when I say barely, like he barely dunked that ball, and he
Mm,
stood over him like he just did like a 360 tomahawk
yeah.
type. You know what I mean? Like,
Tight John, right?
you
Facts.
know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So like, I'm like, "Bull, calm down." You know what I mean? You not built like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, just walk to the foul line and shoot your free throw. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But, like, I think he was doing too much, and,
Bulls
Embiid was
love to
like,
like disrespect Embiid when he gets
yeah,
dunked, like dunked on or like layupped on. Bulls love to like go at Embiid
yeah,
for
es
whatever reason.
yeah, especially last game when, Cam Johnson dunked on him, like, I'm like, "It's Cam Johnson,"
Right.
he not like that for real, you know what I mean? Like,
Facts.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I was saying before, it's basketball. You get dunked on even the best defender, like, it's basketball.
Right.
Everybody get dunked on at some point in time.
At
The
least
kid in
Embiid
Mutombo
is
got dunked on,
trying.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
At least Embiid is trying to like block shots. That's all I
yeah,
can ask for as a fan.
yeah, so I definitely think, Claxton's young boyness, if you wanna call
Mhm.
it that, showed, both times, especially the second time when he got ejected. But
Embiid said,
yeah,
"Get
like, I know his coach
the
probably,
sick as hell.
in that locker room, his coach was like, "What are you doing?" Like, no, crazy,
We're winning the game."
but yeah, like, I don't think that none of them were really warranted, uh I don't know, but I just think that especially like with Embiid, he has and Embiid and Harden, have to be careful, especially when we're playing, you know, mediocre to average teams like the Nets, because I feel like what
Mhm.
they'll try to do is to get into your head and try to get you all riled up so that you can get techs and eventually get ejected out the game, and that happened, with Harden. And even though I don't think it was Harden's fault, but in general, that's something that they have to be mindful of. But yeah, I mean, the NBA, and not even just with this game specifically, but over the course of the regular season, the NBA I feel like has really been getting soft with a lot of these calls, and yeah, it's just not something that you really like to see as a basketball fan. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes the excitement, or at least a portion of the excitement from the game, but. Unless a person is doing something that's like drawing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they just doing something that's just like clearly out of pocket. Like, I don't think, you need to nobody should have been ejected from this game, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't that deep. You know what I mean? But like
Mhm.
you said, if like those are the rules, then that's just what the rules are. But yeah, it's definitely getting soft.
So, your boy Embiid had an off night by his MVP standards. Only had 14 points. I predicted on my Instagram page that he was going to have a 40 piece. While I was not close, I did get the four right. So, how about
Le-
that?
At least he got
Um,
a double double. You know what I mean? 14 and
and
10.
a game securing block. You know,
He did,
shout out to
yeah. He did.
shout out to the big man. But I also noticed that he was on the floor like 3/4 of the game, yo, and he was hobbling a lot of that time.
Yeah.
What is your boy doing, bro? Like, I get it, he's like a student of the game, giving his
Seven draw
all.
fouls.
But like, why are you on the floor like every single time? Like, I felt like Bull was going to tear his meniscus, bro. Like, just falling back, banging his knee, twisting his
Yeah,
ankle.
he got to be
It's like,
careful.
damn, bro. Like,
'Cause he's a big man, so, like, a person of that size, their knees, are gonna go after a certain time, you know what I'm saying? So,
mhm.
he definitely has to be careful, but I think he's just really just trying to draw fouls and more attention to himself, being that he's being double and triple team, or he wasn't getting like a whole ton of calls tonight. He really hasn't been getting a whole lot of like a ton of calls for the entire
This
series.
series, right? Facts.
Um,
Facts.
but yeah, like and I feel like that's what teams are going to, start doing, especially in this second round. So I think right now Embiid really just needs to focus on not even so much scoring, but kind of being like a point center. Um,
Mm.
in like in a sense, like kind of like how the Nuggets use Jokic, but not in entirely. But I'm saying that because like if he's being double and triple teamed, then it's like he's going to have to make the right pass and not turn the ball over. And we've seen him have some success in doing that this series, but we also have seen him turn the ball over and have like these careless turnovers. So that's something that he has to limit more. So I would like him to resort more to that than to just trying to force it and make something happen and flopping on the floor, hoping to get to get a foul call. Like at the end of the day, bro, you're Joel Embiid. Like we know you can score, we know you can get yours, but you're drawing three people to you every time you touch the ball. Use that to your advantage. If you got three men on you, somebody's open. Somebody's open. You know what I'm saying? So
The ball
make the
has been
right
doing
pass.
like nice passes
Yes,
though.
yes, he
I
has.
can't lie there.
But
You
like
know.
it's just like I mean, but like I said before, we also have seen him make careless turnovers too. Now
Hmm.
maybe I'm just being um like hypercritical of him or whatever, but I'm like that because it's like I know in the second round I know what's
It's
coming.
not going to.
So we
Right.
like
It's not
we
going to
like
cut it.
we have to be almost perfect. So I mean, like once again, and I said this in like the last episode. This is the Nets. You know what I'm saying? Like we're
Facts.
going to win the series. You know what I'm saying? Whether
Mm.
it's going to go 5 games max. For real, I think
It should
we
be
will
sweet.
sweep them on four. But like
Yeah. Right.
worst case scenario, it's not going to go past Monday, which I believe would be game 5 if we don't win on Saturday.
Hmm.
So you know what I mean? Like I'm not taking this team. I'm not trying to say I'm not taking the Nets seriously, but I'm not taking them seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to win this series. My focus is on the second round, and it's like
Mm.
I'm using this series to nitpick. Okay, like what do we have to do to get better when we play Boston in a little over a week? So that's why I'm being so critical of like him, Harden, and and everybody else.
Are you concerned that Embiid hasn't had an MVP game yet? Like an MVP type performance? I'm not necessarily there yet, but it's like I feel like he needs to get in a groove eventually. Like he
Mhm,
like can't or maybe he'll like be able just to turn it on
mhm.
when the second round comes. But I'm gonna expect him to like actually dominate game 4. Like take this joint home.
No
Cause
facts.
he's like, he's still been doing his thing, but I, I don't know. Not to say that like I need to see more, but I need at least one MVP game just to like get my confidence up to go into the actual next round. What do you think?
I mean, I completely hear you. But I'm not really concerned only because, this is playoff basketball and obviously teams, they change how they're going to defend you being that we have to play them at least 4 times. And what we've have seen is that, like I was saying before, they're triple teaming him every time he touches the ball. So, it's not likely that in that kind of scenario that he's going to average, you know,
Popping off, right?
30 I mean he'll still get his 30 eventually, but every single game when you have 3 men on you, like you know what I'm saying, like that's just not likely. So I'm not really concerned. I'm just concerned about him making the right play. Because even though he hasn't been having an MVP caliber series, Maxi has stepped up. Tobias has stepped up. Um, PJ Tucker has stepped up. You know what I'm saying? Like so even and we've been getting good production from our bench. They've stepped up. So I think those are the main keys to focus on in terms of trying to win a championship. Like I would rather have Embiid have a game like this
Mm,
where he has 14 and 10 and we win
you won,
versus him
right?
having like a 40 and 10 game and we lose because nobody else stepped up. I mean, like we've seen in the regular season Embiid, I mean, even the game that we had went to A few weeks ago, like Embiid dropped 50, and we barely won that game because of some dumb stuff that happened. But
52, 53,
but
something.
yeah, so like he had like 50 something, and I think
Yeah.
Harden had barely 20, and outside of that, everybody else was in like the low
Donuts.
teens,
Right.
and you know what I'm saying? Like nobody was stepping up, but here like everything is kind of like evenly spread out. So, um, I think that Embiid, getting double and triple teamed is something that we should use out as to our advantage, and to get Tobias involved more, to get Maxi involved more, and that's what we've been doing, and it's been working, and that's why we're up 3-0 right now. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I'm not like. I'm not concerned because I know he's capable, you know what I'm saying? But like I don't care how great of a player you are, if you have 3 men on you, I mean, like, what
Yeah.
you want me to do? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
fact.
Like,
No, no word.
you know what I mean?
I
So
agree.
I mean, like, I know he's capable. I've seen him do it in the playoffs. I've seen him have MVP caliber performances in the playoffs against good caliber playoff teams. So, I'm not concerned. I mean, his presence is felt on both ends still without him scoring a whole lot of points. So he'll eventually get his. I'm just, really critical about him not turning the ball over and just making the right play. I feel like if he does those two things, the points will come because then the
Hmm.
teams are going to have to start guarding our other role players. And when that happens, it's game time. You know what I mean? So
Barbecue
yeah,
chicken.
absolutely.
Word. Okay. That's gonna be the podcast for tonight. Actually, I like do have one quick question before. Um, what other NBA series are you watching right now, or what, or
Question.
uh, other than this Nets, John? Which series have you been enjoying so like far? What's your favorite NBA playoff series currently?
That's a good question, bro. I'm really liking the Lakers and Grizzlies. I think it's very interesting because Ja went down, and even though they did win, the Grizzlies, that is, they did win Game 2 without Ja, but I really think that the Lakers can beat them, and the Lakers are a 7 seed, and they're playing the 2 seed in the Grizzlies, but um. I really think that that the Lakers can win it. I think it's really going to be a dogfight. The next 2 games are in Los Angeles, so if the Lakers can steal these next 2 games and go up 3-1, going back into Memphis, I think they have a really good shot at winning it. Especially with all the talk that Dylan Brooks has been saying, like he's like
He's old.
yeah, so I feel like LeBron, like
Yeah,
the next game in LA, like I just want LeBron to ball out and drop
got
like
like
40, be
50,
like
like
a
50.
vintage Bron like I need a vintage LeBron
Yo.
performance because like even like I've been watching that series and
Mm,
LeBron hasn't. I mean, he hasn't been playing bad, but he hasn't been playing like the LeBron James that we all
yeah,
know. You know what I'm saying?
accustomed
Like,
to.
but I
He is
mean,
old though. So to be, I mean,
he's
the boy
38.
is,
He's
yeah.
38. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but if the Lakers can somehow, um, you know, come out with a victory against Memphis and win the series and go into the second round, being that I think they started the season like 2-10, and the fact that they were able to turn it around, make it
Mm,
to the playoffs as a 7 seed, and if they're able to knock off a 2 seed in Memphis and go to the second round, even if they don't get out of the second round, I think that like that'll be a good win for them. But yeah, like I think that's going to be a very interesting series because like I feel like the West is really a whole toss up because I'm not sold on the Nuggets just yet, and the Suns and the
the
Clippers
Clippers.
is
Yeah.
going to be a good matchup too. So I mean, like I'm just really liking what I'm seeing from the West because, like I said, it's a whole toss up. We don't know who's going to come out the West like at all. So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting series in the West, but I'm really tuning into the Lakers and the Grizzlies.
I've been liking the Kings Dubs
Oh
series, just
yeah,
like
the
based off
Kings
of the fact
balling, bro.
that right, like just based off of the fact
De'Aaron
like the
Fox
Kings haven't been in the playoffs for like 16 years and
since I was a
16 years,
kid, since we
right?
was young boy,
Young and like
before
young
high
boy,
school.
right? So just them like playing well and like I've been asleep on De'Aaron Fox.
Bro, you and me. I mean, like,
I'm asleep, bro.
I
And it's
didn't
like
think he was like that, bro.
and
I
it's
ain't
like
gonna hold
wild
you.
because my like friends from like Q's been like saying, bro, like he's actually bull. And like I'm
I
like,
ain't-
like if he's
I
bull,
never thought that.
why
I
is his
never
team
thought
trash?
that.
Why is
Say
team trash?
yeah.
Why- but no, he's like, doing his
He's
thing.
alive, bro.
He's arrived. He's the clutch player of the year, I
Yeah, I
think.
peep. I peep.
The
Yeah.
like first recipient of that award. So that's pretty dope. Pretty dope. I was trying to get into the Cavs Knicks series, but
Hmm.
it's okay. Like Bulls got like fried last game. I think it was what
Cavs blew him out.
the Cavs blew the like Knicks out. Like typical New York teams. So I'm I'm not impressed. Mecca of basketball, my behind. I'm I'm not impressed.
Knickerbockers.
Celtics is frying the Hawks
Hawks.
like they should.
Who knows?
Um,
Maybe the Hawks can come back from being down 2-0.
they like did against us. Actually, no. Like we were actually down that like whole series, right?
We
I
were
think
so I think we lost the first game
because
actually,
because we lost game one.
and then we came back and we won 2 straight, then it was 2-1,
Right, and
then
in game
2-2,
4 we were up, and that's when yeah we were
and
up.
then
Facts,
and
because
then the
we
Hawks was up
facts
3-2, then we tied it
facts
at 3-3,
facts.
and then
Yeah, facts.
we won't speak on the rest.
um, but yeah, the like playoffs, the playoffs have like been okay. I guess like so far. There hasn't really been any like intriguing matchups other than the Lakers, Grizzlies. The Grizzlies usually play like better when Ja isn't on the floor, which is
Yeah,
wild to me. They're
crazy.
like deep, meaning that like Ja just has to fit in the scheme more. Like obviously they're probably not going. No, sorry, no, they're not going nowhere. Without Ja, but it does say something about him when his team consistently can win playoff games, like with like
Out.
in like blowout fashions. So shout out to
That's
the
a fact.
Grizz and shout out to everybody and shout out to you for tuning in for another episode podcast. We will see you after the next game. I might get content in Brooklyn. So
BK.
if you don't see a podcast the day after, you know why. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for pulling up and listening to two boys talk about their favorite basketball team of all time, the Philadelphia 76ers. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more of this good content from a black male perspective. How about that? I hope y'all learned something. Stay safe, and we will talk to y'all next time. Have a great night, y'all. Go Sixers.